Uh, Today's video is about pending gay rights. The right for the gay person to be able to marry in the United States. Well, I don't know how to say this any more simply than to say that the gays have just as much rights to get married as, say, the straight community or whatever and what have you, as long as they're not hurting other people, as long as they're not impinging upon the rights of others or ills of others, whatever. They have just as much right to get married. Now, of course, Christian community and even what Nietzsche will teach you is that goes contrary-wise to the laws of God and so on and so forth. But the United States government is not about the laws of God. The United States government is about its Constitution. So anything you might understand about anything else but not basically goes out the window. So this forces you more and more to get along with them and to engage them and look beyond just the fact of whether or not they're gay or not. I mean, everybody's got different problems, okay, ladies and gentlemen. And gay is just one part of the fabric work. And then besides which, you Christians out there that condemn the gay thing like this Westboro Baptist Church does, and the God's Hate Fag program, it's really intolerable and very, very insensitive of them, because these gays are not, most of them are not gay because of what happened during the time of Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah was a case where people were worshiping idols. God gave them over to uncleanliness. In this case, became gay or something like that. Or they use the other term, I don't know, homosexuals and lesbians and so on. But the gays that they are probably, most of them are here because of various reasons, because they went through abuse. Now, the abuse issue is a very large and broad area, and it's hard to understand and hard to know when it should attach and when it shouldn't. I mean, for instance, let's take Michael Jackson. He's in a family of about 5 others when that, but somehow he turns out to be a pedophile. That doesn't. So what are we going to sit there and say? Well, that can't possibly be that Michael Jackson's that way because he was in a family of 5 and he was one of 5 people. Well, who knows what his psychological makeup is? His psychological makeup is not like everybody else. We're not carbon copies of each other. We have different things that affect in different ways from that. Some other people might have become gay, or other people become withdrawn, or this or that or that thing. Who knows what all the different things are, So that's unfortunate for Michael Jackson to have turned out that way, with all that ability in music and all that stuff, and then to be stuck with that type of a curse. And those kind of things are not so easy to get out of a person's psyche or whatever. Almost probably better if they just die and come back to life in another time in the flesh and start all over again. Anyway, the plan of God is not limited to just one lifetime anyway. I know many of you think that, oh no, you're going to get Jesus, you're going to die and rapture and take a flying carpet for who knows what, and take off and go to heaven and play a harp, So a little bit more involved than that, but if that's what you want to believe, then the simple go on and get punished. Or in this case, wisdom crieth in the gates, and when your day of derision come, I'll laugh at you. Which makes me wonder why I ain't doing more laughing. But anyway, a little joke there. But the gays are going to get their rights. Now, I checked some of the history, that women were looking for their rights to vote. That thing went on for quite a long period of time. It went on for, it looks like, close to 50, if not 100 years before they finally got their right to vote, which really was then of course there was the black issue with the blacks, slavery really should have never been in there, but because they didn't have a specific amendment that said here, now we have to extend this to black or nationality origins to have freedom. And I think that was set in motion in 1864 during the Lincoln administration, or maybe I think it was a year after he got assassinated. I think it was in 1863. And of course, there was that, and then now this gay stuff, gay rights. probably it's probably going to happen here in the next couple of years. Of course, that's going to cause a major flurry. But the downside for the gay rights is that the gay rights people, or the gay people, want to be able to teach sexual education in the early primary years to young children. Well, I don't know if I agree with that, but there's a false state to this thing. If you don't like it, then take your kids out of public schools and put them in the private schools, and then you can have your dictates that way, or homeschooling. Because, you know, addressing sexual issues at that young of an age is probably not too healthy, and for most kids might go the other way just to be fashionable, or just to be different than that. Now a lot of people are coming out of the woodwork and becoming gay and everything. Well, I don't know. It's I mean, logic should tell you if everybody was gay, then how do we procreate? Oh, I know how. We have to have an immaculate conception. So we have to have, you know, God come down and give us an immaculate conception, and that's how we have the race produced. I don't buy this argument that they're born gay. You're not born gay, or you're not born straight. You're nurtured into it. We're not animals where we're pre-instinct was set in motion. But even that doesn't always fit the model or the paradigm, because some animals can change their sex based on the need for creation. It's true in certain fish, and also too in certain reptiles. If they're born too warm in an environment, you know, then they turn out a lot of females. If it's too cold of an environment where the eggs are sitting, then they'll turn out a bunch of males. Then, of course, even in our own genetic makeup of Homo sapiens, I think it's 1 in 20,000 people was born an hermaphrodite. I'm pronouncing that word right, where they're born with both sex organs, when that, and then usually they usually opt for one or the other. If you want examples in today's world, you can look at Jamie Lee Curtis. She's the son of Tony Curtis, and not who the wife was, or the mother was. And she was born that way, and she opted for, you know, the female gender, and there you have it. But if you look at her carefully, you could technically have the outline structure for a man as well, if she wanted to. So it's going to happen. I know this might be horrified by this, but hopefully we're mature enough, and so on, we can engage these people. If they want to come to your church, don't kick them out. Let them in. I mean, if the power of God is strong enough and needs to be changed, it'll happen with that. But, you know, just tell them, well, you can't be here because you're gay, you know, then you might as well start kicking out most of the congregation. Oh, but then, of course, that would need you to have spiritual discernment, and you'd have to be able to discern whether or not your people that are coming into the congregation are prayed up. But then, of course, that would also apply to the pastor, too, and oh, my word, what a heyday that would develop on that. Might well be that no one ever goes to church. They can stay home and fuck each other on that instead.